just take them as feedback. Because my question was very, very specific on the integration of those infrastructure. And that's why you see Senator Sifuna would then have to ask more questions, even in that question that you've given, because that integration concept is not about just the investment that has made holistically in the city. Is how are these integration considered at this development planning phase? Because if, for instance, what Senator Sifuna is asking, if you're going to have a developer who's going to benefit from the infrastructure that you've put as a county, it's an investment you've made. And you need to have a value of the cost of investment that is there, so that your share must then be bolstered based on the contribution that you're making with that investment. But that I'll leave that for another time, because I know that I really want to hear. So can you just perhaps take a note, and then you'll be able to add them when we have heard from the Chair. Or Senator, I can give you 1 minute, and then
Chair,
and then
my mic has been on for a long time. It's a direct question, really, and a simple one. You know, it's not every time that you have the governor of Nairobi here. These buildings are coming up every day, even before he does what he's doing. The buildings are coming up in Nairobi every day. All of them are feeding on the same sewer system, the same infrastructure that was established those years. But maybe the question that the people in Nairobi would also want to hear is, I've heard of some development taking place this side of the city, but the biggest population, I think, is the other side, Eastlands, Pumwani, Embakasi, that side. What are we doing about that, the sewer system, especially the sewer system? Every time you drive around that place, burst sewer all the time.
Chair, we can have a substantive meeting on all the water and sewer projects we're doing in the county. There are very, very many, including some that we launched during the tour we had a few weeks ago. There are very many, done by Nairobi Water and Sewerage Company, being undertaken by the county government, being undertaken by Athi Water. So I'll be very open to come and give you a breakdown of all of those projects. Of sewer expansion, recently we're doing Umoja, sewer expansion, we're doing some in Eastlands. And the water, that's what I was explaining, the water, the first problem has been just the sheer quantity that is needed vis-a-vis how we're working to increase the quantity that then is received from Nairobi. So I'm very happy, Chair, on a substantive discussion.
Just how these facilities are integrated to the entire development. That's the biggest concern we have.
But Chair, I want to assure you.
Just a moment, Governor. Just to say that what Senator Wambua and Senator Sifuna bring up are very, very important, because while the development of these 13 assets are going on, what they are saying is that they are not the only development that are going on. So there is this overall dependency of these facilities by other developments that are going on. We don't even talk about commercial development that are going on in Nairobi that are depending on sometimes this infrastructure. But we just wanted to have a case for integration. That's all. For how you think about access system, transport system, sewage system, flooding system, and those kind of things. And you can give us that in writing at opportune time. But I don't want to belabor that, because there are more substantive issues that we need to engage with.
Unless you give you our entire development plan of the county. Chair, the county is an ongoing institution. We build roads every day. We have a plan for the roads. We have a plan for sewer. We have a plan for water. Whether or not we are doing urban renewal, we'll still be doing it. And the assets we are doing will connect to that infrastructure. And remember, this urban renewal plan is not something that someone came up with last week or last year. There's been a lot of professional input. Of course, they're faltered in many areas of execution, but the engineers, the planners, the architects, the transport professionals have been sitting on this for years. Remember, it started during the time of the first administration. So, if you want a substantive discussion on all infrastructure, for instance, we say in Makadara constituency, because that is where we have many of them. We have Jericho, we have Bahati, we have national government is doing some in Makongeni, in all those areas. We can be able to present that so that you can see holistically. But I want to assure you, we're not just sitting, doing nothing, waiting for houses to come up, Chair. Please have that assurance.
No problem, Governor. Please. Can I give you 3 minutes? Can I do it in 3 minutes?
Yes, I'll be very...
Okay.
I'll be very quick. We have several projects in Nairobi in what we classify as phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. Phase 1, you're all familiar with it. It's Pangani and Jivanji, which are under construction. Phase 2, we have Woodley, Lot 1, Kariobangi North, Bahati Lot 3, Maringo Lot 2, Jericho Lot 1, Jericho Lot 2, and Ziwani Estates. Of this, in phase 2, only Woodley is under construction. The rest are currently in the joint venture stage, where we are imminently about to sign with the partners that we have secured. Then we have another phase, which is what we are calling phase 3, which we will be advertising. Phase 3 comprises what we advertised in phase 2, which didn't get a developer, and now the new lots that we'll be putting out. These are Bahati Lot 1 and 2. Again, we might drop, based on our negotiations with the national government, we might drop Bahati and release it to the national government. We have Maringo Lot 1, Jericho Lot 3, Lumumba Lot 1 and 2, Bondeni, Embakasi, Woodley Lot 2, Woodley Lot 3 and 4, Maringo Lot 3 and 4, Lumumba Lot 3 and 4. So those we will soon advertise to secure developers. That is the summary of where we are in terms of status.
Very well. Honorable Senators, I wanted to seek your, congruence whether we can be able now to have open this to the representative of the estates, just to
Chair,
hear from them what their reaction
Chair,
will be.
just before you do,
yes,
I don't think the CEC had followed the guidance that the chair gave.
okay.
That there are 5 estates present in this meeting today. What you need to do, don't tell us about the other lots. Just those estates that are in this meeting today, what is the status? So maybe you can the chair had guided Lumumba are here, Woodley are here, Maringo are here, New Pumwani are here, although New Pumwani was a different issue, and the other one, the clerk can guide. Just maybe just give a breakdown of the status in those that are present here.
Okay, thank you, Chair. My apologies for maybe missing that direction. For Lumumba, we did not secure a developer when we advertised, so we will be advertising Lumumba, Lot 1 and 2. Jericho, Lot 3, we will be advertising, but currently we have prepared the joint venture agreement for Jericho, Lot 1 and Lot 2. I hope that's clear. New Pumwani, I think that's something else. It's not part of the mapped estates. Woodley, we have Woodley Lot 1 is ongoing. The developer is on site, I believe currently setting out to begin construction. Then Woodley Lot 2, 3 and 4 will be advertised. Maringo Lot 3 and 4 will be, Maringo Lot 1, Maringo Lot 3 and 4 will be advertised, while Maringo Lot 2 already has a developer with whom we are signing a joint venture. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you so much. Senator, is that in order? Senator Sifuna?
Yeah, Chair. You know, there's a breakdown of the phases. We have pre-construction, construction, and post-construction activities. Now, when you say you are advertising, is it safe for us to assume that you are done with all the preliminaries, including the engagements with your tenants?
Yes.
Please go ahead.
You are done with the tenants. All public participation has been concluded in Lumumba, in everywhere. That's what you're saying.
In terms of the intention to develop, all right, that one we have concluded. What is not concluded is the conversations around the inconveniences, what the chair has been calling the dignity of tenancy and how we are compensating these tenants. Those conversations are pending, as they are for most of the residents who are here. We are yet to, lock down Are we going to give you a 2-bedroom? Are we going to give you a 1-bedroom? How long is the eviction notice? How many months do we compensate you to be out of sight before you come back? So those nitty-gritty conversations have not yet been concluded with all of those estates.
Now, wouldn't you agree with me, Chair, that pending conclusion of that conversations, you're poisoning the atmosphere? I think there was an undertaking by the governor last time you were here, Your Excellency, that nothing would happen prior to conclusion of those. I don't know why you're calling them inconveniences, because that choice of word is a bit odd, Madam CEC, because these are serious concerns that are being raised by your tenants.
No, she's saying the tenants' inconveniences. Tenants being inconvenienced.
That's what I'm saying. I doubt you will classify the concerns in Jericho or Lumumba as inconveniences. These are major concerns. And Governor, we had advanced this conversation where you had gotten to a point where I think you had undertaken in uncertain terms that there would be no agreement signed without these so-called inconveniences having been cleared. But maybe, Chair, with your guidance, we can hear from the residents about these inconveniences. And then,
before even that, the update I would love, because I want Governor, this committee is very keen on closures. Some of them will be long-term closures, some will be medium-term closures, but some are certainly short-term closures. And those closures, what I was expecting in that particular brief, I think it's one of the most important briefs that we have had in the entire conversation. What I was expecting is, with Lumumba, this is the timeline we have to conclude on those concerns. These are the ones we've concluded. In the next 2 months, 1 week, 3 weeks, we are concluding on that conversation for once and for all. We are proceeding this way. And Governor, I talk also as a political leader, in the sense that I know that a governor's term is 5 years. And the last 1 or 2 years, there is a lot of political activities going on. So we don't want a situation whereby this thing becomes so an open-ended conversation, that we haven't concluded on this, we may conclude on it, we will conclude on it. Is there a specific update on every single of these 5 estates with regards to, just a moment, with regards to where are you at with those conversations with the residents, so that I can be able to open? I think this would be a good point to open up to the residents also. But I'm going to give you just 2 minutes. If you have got that brief, what you have said that is pending, how long is this going to be pending in your view with regards to each and every of those estates?
You know, Chair, you're giving a direction, but just allow us to also try and help if we can. The governor has had his time. He has laid out his case. He has said what he had to say about the estates that he had to speak about. The residents are here. Why can't we just hear from them?
Yeah, and that's what I've said, that whatever the update she has given that Senator Sifuna has followed up on is a very, very serious update, that we need to have a concrete answer to it. If there is none, it's also fine, because you've got the residents here. But I'm just saying, for 2 minutes, do you have a time-bound update with regards to those agreements?
Chair, where we have a developer, for instance, Woodley, we did conclude immediately on the MOU. The MOU is a fairly standard document which is applicable across the estates. So the minute a developer is secured, for instance, we have done the documentation, we have signed the JVs, we have signed the form of contract, and all those statutory processes are concluded, and developer is properly onboarded. Remember, it is the developer who compensates, all right? The resources to compensate the tenants for the time they will be out of the site comes from the developer. So until the developer is properly onboarded, you cannot necessarily engage with the tenants, because even the conversations around how much money are you paying them requires the developer to be on board, so that then it's sort of like an agreement. We'll pay you 15,000, for 1 year, or for how long. So a lot of these conversations will move faster once we conclude with the joint venture agreements. Where we have concluded the joint venture agreements, Reed, Woodley, and Kariobangi North, those conversations with tenants have been concluded. The MOUs are just pending signature. Woodley be finished, Kariobangi North, we're just about to do it. So as soon as we are done with these other 5 joint ventures, then we should be able to lock the MOUs with the residents. So that's the sequence of events, and which is why we have not yet fully concluded with the tenants, because the JVs are still ongoing.
Okay, I think this will be a good point to now transition to the residents. And I think the neater way to do it, if you would allow me, our guest for today, I would go estate by estate, and I would first of all just request the chairpersons from the estates to, make a submission or respond to what the governor has said, and then time allowing, I'll then go another round whereby I'll allow the estates to actually perhaps have maybe a secretary or a member who, depending on how you are organized, I'll be fine opening it up to any of the residents members. But let's start with the chairpersons of the estate, and I will start with the Ofafa Jericho. If the chairperson or the person representing the chairperson is here, then I will give you this opportunity to perhaps, let me just see in terms of time. I think 5 minutes is fair, isn't it? I'll give you up to 5 minutes. If you want to share that 5 minutes with a secretary or a treasurer or a member, you are free. This meeting is free. But we'll start with the Ofafa Jericho. And remember to reintroduce yourself for the benefit of the governor and his team before you do a submission or a response or a query that you want the Senate to be vigilant on this development.
Thank you. My name again is John Mgoda, Chairman of Ofafa Jericho Residents Association. Excuse me, Chair. May I make an honest request?
Sure.
5 minutes may be too short for us to present. And if we are to start presenting, I would request that Maringo, the way we had arranged it, start presenting, we follow, then Lumumba comes through. If you don't mind, if you can give us at least 10 minutes.
Senators?
That's fine, Chair. I think it would be only fair, given that we on our part have exhausted the better part of an hour and a half.
Yes.
Which hour belongs to the governor. The senators have only taken half.
Okay, I'll give you 10 minutes, but then that would mean that just see how you spread it. So you are requesting that I start with Maringo?
Yes, Chair.
Okay, please, Maringo, the chair is Peter, right? Yes, Peter, please go ahead.
Sorry, the chair is Shauri Njoroge. There are 2 Njoroges. There is Peter Njoroge and Shauri Njoroge.
Yes, Njoroge.
Yes.
Because Peter was there for the representatives, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Chair. And thank you, our able senator and the Senate committee for inviting His Excellency, the Governor. We have never met him since we elected him. Anyway, let's start. To be sincere, Maringo Estate. To be sincere, our engagement with the NCCG has been so horrible. First of all, we came at the bottom of the chart when they were finalizing issues. And when we asked them who did the public participation, they never did it in Maringo, and nobody in Maringo was involved. So they were doing is chiefs and estates officers, not engaging the residents of Maringo. When it comes to public engagement, when it comes to awareness, nothing was done. Here we see there were 6 clusters, nothing that was done. When it came to mapping, when they were doing mapping, that's when some road constructions were going on. So they were doing it clandestinely, hiding. And we even asked them, what are you doing? They told us that we are trying to mark the roads. We come here telling you that these people don't come up openly. they come up hiding. Another thing is that recently we engaged the County Assembly Committee, and several issues came out about public participation. We came to notice that they are even doing public participation in WhatsApp selectively. In an area where they call it Lot 2, we have 310 houses. They only engaged 74 households, leaving out the rest. And when the acting director of housing was asked to clarify, he said that it's true, that they are doing public participation in WhatsApp, but selectively. It's in the hazards. Another thing is that we came to notice that these projects is not following the Constitution. Even the county acts. Okay, let me leave it to the secretary, kindly.
Good afternoon, Senate Chair. My name is Onyango Gutu, the Secretary of Maringo Estate Residents Associations. I wanted to be on record that we appeared before the County Committee on Lands, Planning and Housing on the 26th of March 2025. What emerged from that meeting last month, what emerged from that meeting was clear that this project has not been approved by the County Assembly. We referred them to Section 114 of the County Government Act, which subsection 2, which says that a project of this magnitude must be subjected first to public hearing. It is mandatory that it has to be subjected to public hearing, which has not been done. The same, it has not been, there is no validation report that has been submitted to that committee to present to the County Assembly for approval. So, as we speak now, this project has not been approved by the County Assembly. Number 2, Section 115 entails that laws and guidelines for such a project have to be emanated from the County Assembly. In this case, there is none. So in our view, or what we fail to understand is why somebody should be so desperate as to try to implement a project which has not been approved, knowing that it is an illegality. When we talked of public participation, sorry, let me just say one thing. The acting director of housing told the meeting that only 7 MCAs they went with to Naivasha are the ones who approved the project, contrary to provisions of Section 114 of the County Government Act. When we come to public participation or public engagement, we had about 6 of them, but on all occasions they were coming to tell us what they are intending to do or what they have passed, not putting into consideration our inputs, which they were conducting the public participation is contrary even to the provisions of their own guidelines. I think we gave out files and we have put all the documents that will prove that they were not even following their own guidelines.
Just a moment, clerk, did you receive any documents from just the same way we do with the governor? If the documents that were received, I know we might not have enough copies. If there are not enough copies, I want you to share with the senators because they are seated there, just so that when there is reference made, senators, you can have the benefit of interpreting the document. And also I just be keen that
Chair, we presented enough documents.
Yes.
We presented enough files.
Okay. So don't worry, the clerk will supply the senators with the files. Go ahead.
On matters of ownership, house ownership, we wrote to the governor a letter dated 6th of March 2024. The governor has never had courtesy even to respond to that letter. From March 2023 up to this moment and time. We wrote him a reminder in October last year. The same, he has not responded to the same. In our letters, we attached sessional paper number 5 of 1958/59, and I'll refer you to page 23 of the same document. Though it is faint, it is somehow highlighted. It talks on how Maringo was constructed. This was constructed with an agreement between the Central Housing Board and the contractor. And they only handed the houses to the city council, the then city council, as trustees to collect rents on their behalf, or on behalf of the Central Bank, which is now referred to as the National Housing Corporation. The sessional paper illustrates how the money was supposed to be used. It included all even claims. We wonder what claims the city council or the county government is claiming on the estate. We also have sessional paper number 4 of 1959 at page 39. It gives the redemption period of the loan, which is put at 25 years. It is very clear that that loan was supposed to be redeemed within 25 years. But the city council have continued collecting rent. They have refused to reply to our documents. In fact, even in our sitting, the acting director said that they own the houses in trust, meaning the houses do not belong to them. We also have a Hansard extract of 1960, which is clear. It was now repealing the powers that they had given the then city council, the power to collect rent now, and gave it back to the Central Housing Board to collect. And it is even clear that what they legalized at that time was only administrative arrangements that the city council and the Central Housing Board had. That is what was legalized in 1960, according to the Hansard report that we have. We have also a Kenya Gazette.
Yes, Senator.
Sorry, Chair. We're just discussing here among ourselves, and we appreciate the presentation by Maringo, but quite clearly the issues that are coming up are issues that actually should have come up during public participation. We cannot allege to conduct public participation here. That will not be possible. Chair, what we would want the Maringo representatives to do is perhaps point to the issues that the governor he has made a presentation. What issues do they agree with? Which issues don't they agree with? So that, as we say, Chair, today we must bank something. We can't have this conversation over and over and over again.
Yes, Senator Sifuna.
Chair, allow me to guide the residents, because I know the level of anxiety that these issues arouse. You guide us about the nature of these public participation forums. There was a notice here, and there was supposed to be a public participation on 25th May 2023 at St. Patrick's. Were you there? Were you present?
Yes, we were there.
Were you allowed to say these things that you are saying here now?
These people are only on that day. St. Patrick's, the estate officer came with a document. He read that document, did not share it with anybody, and they just walked out.
So he never allowed you to make this presentation you are making?
No.
Okay, that is the information that is important to the Senate. Now, other than this meeting at St. Patrick's on the 25th of May 2023, has there been any other meeting between you and the county government?
Yes,
in terms of public participation.
We met again on let me just a minute.
You gave us a date here of 2024, 6th March 2024. Or that was a letter. It was a meeting of
there is one of 5th August 2023 and another one on 2nd February 2024.
Those are meetings of public participation.
Purported public participations.
Were you present in those meetings?
Yeah, I was present.
Did the county leadership allow you to make that presentation that you are making now?
No, we have never been allowed to make that presentation. And I started by saying that we were written to the governor, and he has not even had the courtesy of responding to the same.
Okay, that is clear, Chair. I think we can move, unless there is any other issue.
I've been very lenient. You have actually taken about 17 minutes.
Thank you.
Yes, but I was giving time because I like classifying sometimes some of these themes that come out. So I think that the theme that I was getting is, one, a miscommunication between you and the governor, where there is no, maybe some exchange communication, which I think that the governor will respond to at the right time. But then there's also the issue of the legality of the project. And the one that perhaps actually caught my eye was the issue of the requirement to have the county assembly certify this kind of project, which I think again governor will talk about, or rather respond to. So in that presentation, I have actually gotten two of those issues: lack of that communication between you and the governor, which I think should be there because it's a stakeholders engagement, just the way governor would have conversation between the county and developers. There should be conversation between you as residents and the governor. But then the issue of legality, senators, I think that the issue of this county assembly engagement perhaps something that the governor can respond to at some point. So governor, just take notes. Your governor was a senator here, and during his time here, I used to follow him so much. He was also the chair of was it at that time? No, there was a coalition. Sorry, when you're MP, isn't it? Yes, yes. He was sharing the cohesion and equal opportunity. So I would wish that there is equal opportunity in this conversation, both in terms of communication and even further into the substantive allotment that we talk about. So those two issues, Governor, just note them. Those are the ones I've highlighted. I will go to Lumumba very fast, but please, I am not in the habit of saying it is time, cut. Because that's not the fashion here. But I wanted to go to Lumumba, and then I'll go to the Jericho Fafa. Lumumba?
Chair.
Yes, Senator?
Chair, I think if you want us to move very fast, what you need to do is to guide our guests on what the governor has said. If they are objecting to what he has said, what point? They must point out which point they are not agreeing with, which one they are agreeing with, so that we can move forward very fast.
Fair enough.
On one issue, Bonacha, our friend said that the issue of land or those properties belongs to who and who. The property belongs to the people of Kenya. And that is what he should note. From there now, we can keep on moving very fast. Please guide us.
No, that's guided. That's guided. I think you've taken note from what actually Senator Sifuna emphasized that. All the senators have emphasized that. Let us, for the purpose of moving forward, the governor has done a presentation. The clerk did capture all the conversation that we have had in the past, which was what I call a status report. Let us try and interrogate those ones. Which ones do you feel satisfied about? Which one do you feel you agree with? What should we take note of as senators in terms of those presentations? So Lumumba.
The governor and fellow.
By the way, just a moment, Chair. You know, I like simplifying conversations such as this because we dealt with the issues in Mombasa, and it was very complex sometimes for even the petitioners to say just what do you want. I think that this is an opportunity also for you to simplify it for us as senators, as well as the governor. This is what we want. Because that's a harder way of actually be able to make sure that as senators you can be able to converge with you and the governor on this issue. Is that okay? Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, Chair, Your Excellency the Governor, and Honorable Senators. My name is Agesa Omega. I'm standing in for our Chair, Walter Ogodi. Most has been said by my colleague from Maringo. I'm saying not my colleague, my fellow owner from Maringo. Owner. Why do I say owner? Not tenant. Owner.
Chair, can you restrain the governor from
Governor, stop intimidating,
threatening the witness?
Governor, you only speak to the chair.
Next week has a problem. But I'd like him to tell us how owners paid it. The president.
No, we can. You'll have your time.
Why do I say owner?
You're protected, sir.
Let me clarify to him. In his presentation, there are some things he was trying to evade. He gave not the whole history of the land.
And my friend Agesa.
Yes.
Here you only speak to the chair, you only look at the chair, you only point at the chair.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Chair, please. You know these matters are fairly emotive. Eh? And if there is need for physical separation of the governor from the witness, it will help us so that he is free to express himself. I have known governor not to be a violent person.
I guess proceed.
I am now concerned.
Why do I say owner? The governor has been very evasive. Evasive in which ways? He gave just a brief talk when it came to the history. He never mentioned anywhere the things which the last Senate asked him to produce. And if he could have produced all those, he could have known we are the owners. What I'll give, the governor came and also admitted the county had not gotten a contractor. We are not dealing with Governor Sakaja. We are not dealing with General Badi. We are dealing with Nairobi County Government and the NMS, because NMS was a legal entity. So let's start it from the NMS. Our first engagement with the NMS was, and that's the question you asked, how about when NMS leaves the office? The officials by that time responded by saying, Justice Helen Wasilwa ruled it very clearly. NMS is a legal entity. So let's start it from where NMS started this project. In February 15, they called us. We have a meeting with them, which we responded to the call.
Which year?
February 15, 2021.
2021, okay.
We responded to the call, and they required us to do some things, which was registering of resident associations, which we did. The first meeting with the county government stroke NMS was in July 1st of 2021. And there are some things we discussed. They told us of the goodies of the project, but we had to drag them back because we are victims of historical injustice. Why do I say victims of historical injustice? Our parents, when they got these houses, when they were located, there were documents, and even as my other co-owner has stated, the sessional paper of 1959, sessional paper number 3 of 1959, it stated very clearly, the rent, the loan which had come from the Colonial Development Fund to the Central Housing Board will be repaid through rent structure. Through rent what? Structure in the document. We came to independence, and they can even admit it in one of their documents. The first estate to be constructed, to be built by the Nairobi County Government, was Uhuru Estate. Uhuru what? Uhuru Estate. Why is Block 51 unique? Because it sits on one piece of land, Maringo, Ofafa, and Lumumba. And in that one piece of land, you realize that's where the whole issue is. No title deed. The other time he told that county, he told the Senate committee in last year March, we were preserving the lands. That was not the role of the county government. It's the role of the National Lands Commission, not the county government. Why did they come in 2021? Because that was the expiry of the duration. They are waiting for the expiry of the duration of the historical injustice. That's when they came and ambushed us. Our parents have gone to the graves crying fall of what the county government did to them. How did they play the fall? They took the first cards, which had a lot of things. Now they gave us the cards, which now had the social housing thing. When they gave us those cards, when our parents went to ask in 1988, they asked the councillor by then, Sami Mbogwa, tunataka nyumba zetu. The only thing they could tell us is, wapi imeandikwa hiyo. Knowing very well when they had come from the village, they never knew anything related with the law and housing. The governor each and every time they ambush us, through SMS, unlike before, when they advertise one, two, three things in the media. I'm talking of the print media. We have the copies of the print medias with us. When we had the first engagement with them, that's why I say we cannot trust them. They keep on shifting goalposts. We agreed all what had been discussed, which we presented to the Senate committee last year, for them to avail. After availing, we agree on certain issues, which they said, kama iko hivyo, kama ni ukweli, we shall honor it. We agreed the secretary and our secretary, they meet, they synchronize the meeting minutes, it become one document, not a public participation, a document for the minutes. From that time, they have been taking us in circles, ambushing us with things which are not there, only for the March 2022 2022, we were invited to go to the NMS offices, NMS/NTCG offices at KCC. Because we kept on asking them, if you can't honor these minutes, how will you honor the agreement? They came with a shambolic document. They said, now here it is, you people start signing now, this is the document. We refused to sign the document because what it contained was not what we agreed with them. Some of the things we agreed was, they come with the title deed of the land, Block 51. They come with the design of the houses and everything. And then before that, when they had even started the process, they told us to register. They engaged us first in July 1st, 2021. And yet, if you check on the document, the expression of interest was advertised in January 2021. And as per the Constitution says, public participation, we have to be engaged. They never did that. They said whenever they'll be coming on the ground, they will be accompanied by any member of the resident association, which never took place. And one of the persons who contravened those things is in the house with us from the county government side. He used to come akijificha the way the Maringo chairman has said. They could even come with cameras in some double cabin vehicles, wanapiga picha kidogo. We don't know what they are doing. When they see the residents, they run away. So we wondered, is this an open project? If you check on the EOI, and if you check on
what is the name of the person?
Kemboi is in this room. We have even the video.
Who is Kemboi? I want you to be explicit.
Yeah, Kemboi
works with the.
He's the chief housing officer.
Yeah, just.
The chief housing officer, Mr. Kemboi.
Okay,
yeah.
That's continue.
Yes. They continue doing all that.
Just point of order. What video do you have? You said you had a video of him running away or what?
Doing some surveying of the land at the AB zone.
Okay, proceed.
Yes. Even as the governor says, they're in touch with the people. We do pay rents. Do they maintain the houses? Ask them which was the last time they maintained those houses. We have just become a milking cow. I think I will stop with that leave for my chairman Mugonda because of time.
Okay.
Just one question, Chair, to Mr. Gesa.
Go ahead, Senator.
Mr. Gesa, we have a report here from the county government on this public participation. They say there's an exercise at Lumumba Social Hall on the 25th of May 2023. Were you present at that exercise?
I was present. And when
did you get opportunity to say the things that you are telling the Senate today?
We were present. Our main role was just to listen to what they've come to tell us.
So you didn't tell them any of these things?
They said, no, tumambua tu tuwasomee hii karatasi. Tulipouliza, wakatuelezea, ati hii karatasi, tumambua tusipatie mtu. That was the estate officer.
Okay.
Estate officer Lumumba.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chair, another supplementary. Chair, with what Mr. Agesa has just said, what then, as per your own question, Chair, is the ask from him representing Lumumba?
Yes. What we expect from the county government is for them to come and hold a public participation. We discussed some of the things we are raising here, one of them being the ownership of the land. Immediately settle the issue of the ownership of the land, that's when we shall now discuss about the project.
Okay, I guess just as I said, yes. I like concretizing what I'm trying to get into the theme, and that's why actually, if you heard about substantive questions, the four of them, now they are coming out, Governor, I'd ask about the question of successive tenancies, which was basically substantially the issue of, is there an ownership problem or this? But for you particularly, Egesa, you have referred to session paper number 3.
Yes.
Which was a contract of finance proposals.
Yes.
For the Nairobi African Housing Project.
Yes.
Are you telling this committee that in your humble view, or rather your understanding, that session paper was a contractual agreement that the tenancy payments you were making were towards ownership?
Yes.
I want that to be very clear so that
yes.
It's a substantive issue, Senator, so that you take it note. That is your understanding as residents?
That is my understanding.
Yes.
Adding unto what, I was not born in Pumwani, I was born in...
Yes, so you and that's why I was talking about succession, because you brought the issue of your parents,
yes,
who might have been privy to this understanding, and that's why you have filed that contractual paper with us.
Yes.
Is that the understanding?
Yes.
Senators, I want to take note of that.
That's okay, Chair. So
yes.
Then the only thing that then we would ask is that we conclude these things.
Sure, Senator.
So have you tabled that agreement that says that you're paying this rent towards ownership of the house? That's
yes.
one.
Yes.
And secondly, so what are the residents of Lumumba claiming? Are they claiming the land and the houses, or just the land and not the house? What do you own there? Is it the land and the house, or just the land?
The residents of Lumumba, first and foremost, they are claiming the land. That is number one. And then secondly, when it comes to the issue of houses, it's a matter of discussion amongst the residents.
Chair, I want to finally just let him clarify whether this dispute, a dispute about ownership of land, there's places you can take those disputes.
Yes.
I don't think that sitting with the county governor, you cannot discuss and agree who owns what.
Yes.
So which institutions are handling that dispute about the ownership of Lumumba and Maringo and Jericho?
Yes. What we did, we had to go apply to the National Lands Commission. We had to give our place. Then Commissioner Fatma had to release a team to come on the ground. A team of surveyors. Fatma herself, the surveyor was by the name of Paddy. They came on the ground. They did the survey of, they started with Maringo, then they came to Lumumba, then they went to Ofafa. And they said they are doing that pegging because in the records, this land does not have any owner. That's why it doesn't have an LR number.
So your position, or what you're telling this committee, is that this dispute is before the National Lands Commission on ownership, not the size or whether who has the title. Who owns this land is a question before the Land Commission, the National Land Commission.
Yes, it's before the Land Commission. And when we did a follow-up, we had to do a follow-up, the National Lands Commission.
Use the mic, please.
We had to do a follow-up, the National Lands Commission. Then after doing a follow-up, sometime back, it was last year, we were summoned by Commissioner Fatma. She told us, we have realized the Nairobi, that is immediately the governor had just come from the Senate committee, this committee of roads and housing. She told us, we have realized the county government has got the title deed. What we asked her was, how comes they have a title deed and the governor admitted before the Senate committee on roads and housing in front of all media cameras, the county government does not have a title deed? Now, where have they gotten it from?
Now, these documents have come from you, right?
Yes.
There's a letter here inviting you to a hearing before the National Lands Commission on 30th of April.
Yes.
You are aware of this?
Yeah, they ambushed us over the weekend.
What do you mean by, how much time do you need? Because you seem to be very knowledgeable about the history of this matter. Even if I woke you up in the middle of the night to appear before this committee, you are telling how much time do you need? Because we can also help you.
No.
This letter is dated 23rd of April, and they are calling for a meeting on 30th of April, which is a 7-day notice.
In fact, we had a meeting yesterday evening, all the 3 estates. discussing about that letter. Why are we not in agreement with the letter? The letter came through someone who was just a coordinator and he left the association a long time ago. We have been writing to the National Lands Commission directly as Lumumba Resident Association.
So you are saying you will not attend this hearing?
I'm still answering your question, Senator.
No, you know, I guess we need to make some progress.
Yes.
Let's make progress.
Yes.
And I want you to be very honest with us, because we have been more than honest with you.
Yes.
As a senator, you know how much we have dwelt on this matter.
Yes.
Chair, as a senator of Nairobi, one of the frustrations I have, and I have to express this because I've said it to Chairman Mgonda, I've said it to Sam, is that there appears to be a hesitation from you to resolve this question. That whenever there is opportunity for that conversation to happen, you look for excuses for that conversation not to happen. Chairman, if the National Land Commission has invited you, and you have rightly said they are the ones who should be able to resolve this question, even if they call you today or tomorrow, honestly speaking, what is wrong with appearing before the National Lands Commission?
What, we have no objection, but
you are saying it should come through you. The invitation should come through you.
No, I'll give you the reason why we are still discussing of it. The letter, we received it on Saturday in the evening, not a working day. And it never came through the official channel. It came through someone.
Senator Wambua, please. Chairman, you are representing the chairman. Please let's make progress on this matter.
Yes.
Are you disputing the contents of this letter?
We are not disputing. We can avail ourselves anytime.
Are you disputing the contents of this letter?
We are not disputing.
You are not disputing.
We are not disputing.
Then if you are disputing, what is the problem?
We will appear.
And the problem is how it came to you. I mean, really, surely. This is a serious matter.
Yes.
Please, let's make progress on this matter, Chair. Please.
Yes, we will appear before it.
Chair.
Senator Chute.
Yes, I want to ask Chair a specific question. Question number one. All these years, our friends have been paying some kind of a rent. I want to know, they were paying to who? Number one. Number two, the governor has just said that he's giving houses to the former tenants. What is his take on this? Is he agreeing to it or not?
We don't refuse. But one thing, we are not trusting the Nairobi County government. They don't honor their promises.
The first question is, you've been paying rent. You've been paying to who? Which institution?
Nairobi County government.
So now you are telling us...
you know, Chair, I just want to... Chair, just let me make this point.
Please, go ahead, Senator.
That I would very much want. You know,
yes.
One of the things you have not told the Chair is that this dispute arose in the 80s. I think it's 1987. Your senator was 5 years. Senator Eddie, who is chairing, I don't think he was born yet. We want to resolve this question once and for all. Yes. Before I leave this Senate,
yes,
I want to be able to have resolved this. And I'm sure there is a commitment on the part of the county government also to make sure that there is finality.
Yes.
And because this is a house of records, the governor has said certain things, and I'll want him to say themselves regarding that question of ownership. But what I wanted to request, these are constitutional bodies that are mandated to settle these disputes.
Yes.
Disputes regarding land ownership, you have rightly identified to be the National Land Commission.
Yes.
I want to make a request, a very passionate request to you, that just the way you have been cooperating with this committee, whenever we call you, I don't hear you complaining about notice, about who has brought the letter. I send text messages to you directly, all of you here.
Yes.
Just appear and make your case, because Chair, sometimes I get so frustrated. And Chairman, I want you to address this because I've spoken to you directly. It doesn't matter what somebody calls a meeting. If you call Sifuna into a meeting and I know that I don't agree with certain positions, it doesn't matter what you call it. I will go there and say what I want to say. That is why you saw me asking the chair from Maringo whether they were present in these meetings and whether they were allowed to say the things they are telling us now. How is it that the Senate is the only environment where you people can say these things? Do you want us, the Senate, this Senate, do you want us to transform ourselves into the National Land Commission, into the courts, into the Nairobi County government, so that you can have honest conversations?
Yes.
Do you want this chair? Because when Senator Crystal was asking you, what do you want us to do so that we can resolve this crisis? Do you want this committee to be present physically in your meetings with the county government, or what is it that you want so that we can resolve this question?
We'll appear before the National Lands Commission.
Chair,
Yes.
I'm listening.
Yes.
There is no way. There's something called reality check.
Yes.
Where you find yourself now,
Yes.
there is no way you avoid the Nairobi County government.
Yes.
It's not possible.
Yes.
And I empathize. I've been talking about this both at the level of government, national and county government, that constantly we see a loss of trust with the government in both sides. It's an unfortunate situation, where the population loses trust for whichever reason, and I don't want to get into the transactions that have been between you and the county government, whether it's right or wrong, but for whichever reason, we constantly have a population that is constantly losing trust with the county government and sometimes also with the national government. It's an unfortunate state of affairs because it is the Nairobi government that is transactioning, in this case, with the developers.
Yes.
And the reason why I ask you about session paper number 3 is because you are also agreeing that there was, whether it is substantively understood so, or whether it is a misguided understanding, there is some understanding that the payments that were happening in the tenancy agreements were towards the ownership of the land of some sort.
Yes.
The governor has equally been very clear, and if I quote you wrong, Governor, you can correct me in your responses, that once these developments are done, the residents will be given the houses for free. And they say that that free is not an issue of being free because you had been paying rent over time and you've been members of this estate for over time.
Yes.
So there is an understanding there that we're not appreciating.
Yes.
So what I want to request you, because I've read the letter that Senator Sifuna has referred to here, what I want to request you first of all is to make sure that you engage with the county government. Number 2, make sure that you engage with the National Land Commission. And perhaps do us a favor to update us on what that conversation has been. Because while the Senator of Nairobi says that we cannot transform ourselves into National Land Commission and the courts, we also, because we work for the people, you sent us to these houses. Senator Sifuna is your representative. He talks on behalf of you. He has got no interest talking on behalf of the government of Nairobi, unless he's talking about issues of RMLF and how you get money to the government of Nairobi. You represent them. We actually have the convening power to actually facilitate a conversation between you and National Land Commission if it's an adversarial one. But the first thing, you must show goodwill and go to those meetings. If it becomes difficult, I can assure you that this Senate is committed to get this issue done. We can be able to invite the National Land Commission, invite you, and invite the county government in a multi-stakeholder conversation. But first of all, we need, I don't know whether to say is to restore that trust, because we can't. But we need that engagement to continue.
Yes, we will.
So please listen to Senator Sifuna and engage with the National Land Commission. Appear there, say what you need to say, be firm, update the Senate.
Yes.
Is that a good place to finish your presentation? I can go to the next.
We agree. I agree with it.
Thank you.
In total.
Can I go to Jericho Fafa?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair. Again, my name is John Mgoda. I am the chairman of Ofofa Jericho Residents Association. Chair, there is a danger of a driver arriving at his destination without passengers. I say this, and I would like to avoid emotions. We have had an extremely difficult moment dealing with the county government. And as an alternative, that is why we find ourselves in this honorable Senate. Difficulties in the sense, I have had public participation meetings being referred to many times. I've been before this Senate. Chair, in Ofafa Jericho, we are still in ground zero. Ground zero for the reason that the meeting of 12 February 2021, which was held just before the Lumumba one, was at the height of COVID. It was held at the Jericho Hall at the height of COVID. But what was the essence of that meeting? First, to form associations that will act as a bridge between the people of Jericho and the county government. Thereafter, any other meeting that has been held was without the public. It was only the committee that meant the principal officers of the county government. And guess what? Anytime they came to those meetings, notices which I have here don't read like invitations for public meetings, public participation meetings. All they stated is, we are coming to update you on the progress. And hang on, when were we ever involved? These are the first days that from 2019 COVID time, 2021 we start meetings. You're telling us to form associations, meet your people for public participation, but they don't come in public participation. Somebody has been mentioned here from the county government, Mr. Kiboi, will stand with me as a witness against his own employer. They never used to come to us with seeking our views, even as their own public participation guidelines say.
Just a moment, John. I don't mean to interfere with your thought process. I like the way you are presenting, but you've mentioned something here that also I think, I guess I also mentioned. The meeting that was held in February 2021 that perhaps encouraged the residents to have associations, form these associations to engage with the county government. And of course it was facilitated by NMS. Is that true?
Yes, Chair.
The two of you, may you just help me understand, was the association formed particularly in anticipation of this renewal and regeneration project?
Correct.
And at that time, were you amenable to it? As in, did you accept the idea of that renewal and regeneration of the estates?
No.
You did not?
No.
Agesa? You did not accept it? Okay, so, sorry? Put yourself on record.
We did not accept it because if you could check on their document and you check on the one which had for the 1959, there were similar documents.
Okay.
And one was never honored.
Okay.
So we never trusted them to honor this one.
Okay. I just want to make that so that we can move together, because
Chair.
that question, I'm going to give you Senator Wambua, but that question, I want to just be clear that the association are not being found for general engagement with the county, but specifically on this particular project. So that as you present,
yes,
that is very clear to us.
Yes.
But Senator, I'm going to give you 1 minute, but I want him to continue. I don't want to interfere with this thought process. I just want that clarification. But Senator,
just following up on what you're asking, Chair.
Please, yes, please go ahead.
Then the chairs are saying that they were asked to form associations to engage with the county government, right? And you formed those associations. So what are you opposed to?
Now, after forming those associations, we expected the only good thing they would have done, noble thing, is anytime they wanted to meet the residents, they would come through us, and that was the intention. We would create an atmosphere, maybe arrange meetings and stuff like that, so that when they come to the ground, we will have been involved.
So, because again, the conclusions, no, Senator, you've asked a very good question. You're not opposed to the project, at least at a conceptual level, because I think the commission went through. You are not opposed to the project. What is becoming a point of constraint is that the county government is not engaging the associations and the leadership of the association as you had formed them.
They are not engaging us.
They are not engaging the association. Well, everything you're saying here is what the government must respond to, and we must get to conclusion. So there's issue of not engaging the associations and the association's leadership. Do I get that as an issue?
Both the associations and the subjects.
Okay.
So just let him continue.
So continue.
Chair,
Yes, continue.
point of order. Chair.
Yes, Senator Asige.
Thank you, Chair. Is it in order, Chair, for us to continue without our member being able to go on record? Because she has walked in and she has tried to catch your eye. But, Chair, you are not allowing your eye to be caught.
No, my eye was caught by the residents. I apologize about that. I was so focused on this other side. So, Tobiko, please put yourself on record. I'm sorry about that.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Senator Asige. Chair, my name is Paris Tobiko, member of this committee.
So much, Senator. Sorry, I was so engaged on this side. I didn't notice you coming, but thank you so much for coming to the meeting. So please, John, continue.
Well,
I'll add you
after the formation of those associations, which definitely were the vehicle to approach these discussions, what followed later was strictly a meeting with the association, or rather the committee members. So we met for about 3 times. But in these 3 meetings we met with the chief officers. In one major meeting, we agreed on certain things. If you allow me to mention, including the name of the officer, Madam Marion, who was there then, she said, after lengthy discussion, she is the one who coined the word renovation. So you people don't want the regeneration project. What you want is renovation. In that case, then, I'll give you 10 days within which you should send in your views about renovation. And she agreed to the fact that there was no demolition that was going to happen, because that was what was going on. And by the way, the threatening language that was used to us, we begin in August to evict you people, August of 2021, when the project was still very young. So in those meetings, at one time, we agreed the minutes of 29th June 2021 should be synchronized, harmonized with those of the county government, so that we can agree to sign one set of minutes. We sent the minutes at first. They were never received. They said they don't have an office. We sent a set of minutes again to City Hall. And when we discovered that they are dodging us, what we did is we used the courier. We used Wells Fargo and we used G4S to deliver those draft minutes. To date, and they are in some of the files that we have given the members of this committee, we gave members of the committee for their ease of reference. Those minutes have never been signed to date. Now, regarding Jericho in particular, the meeting that was held all over the 13 estates on 25th of May, we held that meeting. Only the county, the estate officer did a speech. We did not allow any of the members of the county government to speak. Why? Because they are going to treat this as a public participation meeting, and we have documented it even before it happened and even after it happened. And in that meeting, we told them, you always come to us to rubber stamp what you have already done in the background. Rubber stamping what? This book, Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, is not our product. It is the product of the NMS, and the county government's logo is there. We did not produce this document, and therein lies a lot of information which they themselves have captured. Now, When they failed to sign these minutes, and when that meeting of public participation was called, and we drew their attention to this book, it did not augur well with the residents. And by the way, what happened, there was an altercation, and the officers went to seek refuge in the ward admin's office within Jericho Social Hall. I must mention here that by 12:30, that meeting was in disarray. But we reached out to our Honorable Senator Sifuna, and he stopped what he was doing. He came all the way up to Jericho Hall. And after that, when we explained our case, that is when he realized the grave concerns that we had and arranged for us to come to Senate. We could only seek refuge in the Senate. Why? Even now I've heard you say, Chair, that you will make arrangements for us to meet the governor. I have only met my governor since elections twice, today and last time.
Chair, point of order. Point of order.
Governor, you love your time.
No, don't. That's why it's a point of order. Chair.
You're not allowed to make a point of order because you're not a member of this house.
I'm a member.
You are a member, but I will make sure. Governor.
It costs you nothing to hear me.
Governor, just a moment. Let him just finish.
Chair,
once he finishes, I'm gonna make sure that I give you a right of response.
Of course, I'm responding to everything that I said.
But
you don't know what I want to ask.
No. The reason I'm saying this is because when he's presenting, I want him just to finish his presentation. Then I come to you. I'm going to give you a chance to be able to ask. Can you just finish, Representative John, because you've got only about 2 minutes to finish.
I will
allow him to speak. Allow him to speak, please, Chair.
John, go ahead.
And therefore, our views, which we are presenting to you today, and which have been captured in those files in quite some detailed documentation, is that, as Senator Sifuna stated, that there seems to be something here that we either need this to be resolved or not to be. We need it to be resolved like yesterday. But the problem has been, right from the word go, we offered ourselves to come to public participation meetings, which we were never meaningful. And secondly, because you cannot be heard, then the only alternative you have is to seek for alternative institutions that can help you. And that is why we have gone to NLC, because of the land. We believe we own this land, legally so. And we still also understand we legally own these houses as our houses, because they were rent to own a house, as you have already been explained in those documents that you have been given, and as already explained by my Maringo counterpart. Chair, we were going to seek...
You have one more minute.
We were going to seek your indulgence here, that you engage NLC and engage the county government to please hear us out. We are still in square one. We still believe the residents said no to this project. Proper consultations have never been made, and the law has been broken left, right, and center. We live in fear in our estates. Thank you, Chair.
Governor, I wanted to give you a chance to perhaps raise your concern.
Chair, I think next time we have such an engagement, everyone should be on oath. Because there's a lot of disingenuity. Chair, I will share with you a letter, because he says he's met me once or twice, and that they seek audience and they're not getting audience. We invited them for a meeting with me on the 7th of April, 2025. They came and stopped residents from attending the meeting at Charter Hall. Why is he not saying that? You cannot come to the table of equity without, you must have clean hands. So when you call you for the meeting and you come with placards and you threaten others who are registering from attending the meeting, are we really being honest, Chair?
Chair, I think that is why Governor, I think the guidance of the chair initially was the correct one, that you allow these people to express themselves. These matters are emotive for everyone. Then during your response, you can even table those problems, because me personally, and I will say this because me, I don't fear anybody here. I have raised this concern and I've repeated it here, that our chairs appear to be afraid to go to certain meetings because they think, and Governor, you can understand, because one of the issues, Chair, is that...
Your chairs means chairs of the association?
Yes, these chairs.
Yes, not the chairs of the committees.
One of the reasons is that the minutes of those meetings, and this is a matter that I have brought to the attention of the Governor himself, I've written to you myself, asking for minutes of his meetings. That is the fear of these county chairs, and it is our responsibility as a leadership to address those fears so that we can actually unlock this dispute. So, Chair, I think you had guided properly. Let the chairs finish. Let the chairs finish. I think we only have 2 more to go, and they have more to say. We have not even gotten to Woodley. Bado tujatoka Eastlands.
Yeah. So I think we have got 2 more. Thank you, Joe, for your presentation. And Governor, as I said, actually the way the meeting is going is actually the way it confirms that you're on trial. It's not the other way around where one must rebut the other. But I think that just take note. I'm going to give you sufficient time to respond to some of the concerns that are raised. Let me go to actually go to Woodley. Let me go to Woodley because I want to mix this. The gentleman, you're from Ofafa, right?
Yes.
Yes. Ofafa has just been replaced by the chair.
Yeah, but I want to ask before you go to Woodley, there's some information that you are lacking. Governor is lacking, Senator is lacking, but if it's known, then these discussions will be even more easier to solve.
How many minutes do you need to tell me the information?
2-3 minutes.
I'll give you 2.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone in the room. I've stayed in Maringo since 1962. I was 5 years old. We were the first alpha in Nairobi. Now we are moving out, leading to other alpha. What I want to say is this. 1974, His Excellency Mwai Kibaki, and I want Sifuna to help us on this. 1974, Mwai Kibaki, His Excellency, our late, he went to Parliament, passed about owning these houses, and it went first reading, it went second reading, then there was going to be an election. So Kibaki left, went to Woodley, and those 2 readings are still in Parliament. Honorable Sifuna, can you go and look for these hazards? Because it is one of the documentary evidence, supportive documentary evidence in what we are doing and saying here. Secondly, yes. Secondly, about ownership. I don't know anywhere on this planet someone builds a house without a title, without showing documentary evidence of what you own, and the designs of those houses or whatever you want to build. So when governor says they own the houses, maybe you like to see the designs that the county government had and the titles to show that they own the land. But they want to own the land in their minds and not following the constitution or any law they have passed. So, Honorable Sifuna, can you go, please? I've tried to get those documents, 1974, the hazard that they passed that we should own the houses. It remained only 1 reading to own.
I will help Senator Sifuna there very fast, and thank you for the contribution. I didn't even know that his former, His Excellency the former president was involved.
Yes.
But
1974.
yes. Remind me of your name again.
Honorable Mwai Gakuya.
Yes, Mwai. I wanted to just share with you that in Parliament, when a member wants to pass law and they have brought that proposal in the House, and it has gone through first and second reading, and one, it can collapse in those engagements. It can be passed or not passed by members.
It was passed, but
just let me guide you. Yes. But most importantly, if it wasn't made law, and in that session then it didn't go through, it lapses in that session. So it's very unfortunate. I wish that actually the late president followed this through and made it law. But because it wasn't made law, it would be difficult for Senator Sifuna to go and dig it because he died with that session.
Okay, can you advise me?
Chair, just switch off your mic, Mwai.
Yes, sir.
I want to commit to you. It is very easy to get parliamentary records. The Hansard is there, but what the chair is struggling to tell you is that a law only passes after that third stage. But as to the debate, the record is there. We can always get it for you. So I think, Chair, we can move to the next.
Well, I'll move to Woodley, but I will definitely encourage it to get us the material. But just in terms of the legal framework, it is if it didn't pass, it died with that session.
What I'm trying to say, Chair, is that those documents in Parliament are part and parcel of supporting documentary evidence.
I get it.
So what I was asking Sifuna, to bring this and then ratuli itaanguka. Thank you.
Yeah, but I must, just a moment, I must help you because you seem to be a veteran there. You actually lose more on this conversation when you go to refer to a document that was not passed by law. So, but that's for another day. So just switch off your mic and then let's hear from Woodley.
Maybe give me a second or two to.
Please. I will give you some other time, but let the gentleman here also get a chance, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair. My name is Sam Gachago, and I'm the chairman of the Woodley Development Initiative. And nataka kusalimia our governor, Governor Sakaja, who I have not seen since he was elected governor. I last saw him in his office in KICC. It is good to see you, Governor. And I'd also like to say hello to Lydia Mathia, who has evaded seeing us for the last 8 months. Governor, it is true that the redevelopment in Woodley has proceeded, but at the moment there seems to be very little activity, and people are asking questions as to what is going on. Number two, I know there were certain problems with people going to court, and out of the 43 people, only 22 or so people were given their 900,000 shillings for relocation. I was approached by a lady who nearly undressed in front of me saying she wants her money. And I asked her, where do I get Governor Sakaja to ask him this question? And it is something that you as a governor need to look at. You need to make a decision as to whether you're going to give the other 22 people who have not received their relocation allowance money, because there are some very elderly ladies who are crying foul because they need to receive this money. Yes, it's true, we did support this redevelopment, and we have been supporting the redevelopment process since 2014. And the fact of the matter is, there would be no Woodley estate. Woodley estate had disappeared and was going to disappear. But for the gallant fight that was put up by the residents, we managed to save the estate for the county government. At that time, it was the Nairobi City Council, at great expense and sacrifice. When you come to talking about, I think is it lot 2, 3, 4, and 5, I think one of the basic things that you should do is inform the community in Woodley what is actually going on, because right now they are wondering, are we going to be taken by surprise? It was not surprise, but it is very, it is a sad thing to see people being removed at night, and that is one thing, Governor Sakaja, we don't want to see in the future. We want a structured way of dealing with this, just like how we would like to see a structured way of dealing with public participation. The redevelopment process is good for the city, but it has to be done with adequate public participation. As you've heard, everybody, most of the other chairmen are crying public participation. So what we are asking you as a governor is to ensure that these public participation meetings are structured in the proper manner. Now, I'd like to deviate, Governor Sakaja, from, with the permission of the chair,
go ahead,
to discuss an issue that has been plaguing Woodley for the last 2 months. We do not understand why we are getting threats of eviction from the housing department now and then, and this is creating a lot of disease amongst. I've written to you about that, and I think you have told us to see your chief officer, Miss Mathia, and she has not been available. But we did manage to see Patrick Mbogo, who assured us that they are looking into the matter. And all this is all due to rent arrears and rent anomalies, rent payment anomalies, which all we wanted to do is sit down with the concerned officials and sort out the issue so we can move forward. Otherwise, beyond that, I don't think there's anything very much I can say. It's only to ask the Chief Officer Housing, please, just accord us the opportunity to sit with you. We'd appreciate it very much. And I'm sure the government has told you, the governor, and don't ask me how I know, has told you to do so. So please make sure you do that, and we shall sort things out. Because one of the basic things that we want to discuss with the county is that issue of public participation. You have stated you have 3 more lots which we do not know of, and we would like to know exactly what you're planning. We had indicated in our proposal that we should form a liaison committee between the county and the developer and the residents. And that would help resolve a lot of issues. So when we have our next meeting with Madam Mathia, I think we shall bring this up. And I'm sure we shall be able to move forward on these issues. Apart from that, Governor, all the other issues with regarding to infrastructures have been spoken of. And you have actually pointed out exactly what the county is doing. And we hope...
Sam, I don't mean to cut you, but I still advise you that you don't address the governor, you address the chair.
Oh,
yes.
I beg your pardon.
Thank you. But continue.
Yes. I was talking about the infrastructural development when you're doing a major redevelopment. You've explained it very well that the county is doing things and is continuing to do so. So I think I don't have much more to say to the governor. All I can do is wish him well. And because you have come to redevelop our estate where we've lived for more than 50 years, please do so with a human heart. Thank you very much.
Senators from the plenary by Mr. Sam, do you have any input, question?
Yeah, Chairman, I am quite surprised that Sam Gashago getting this opportunity, all he has to do is to wish the governor well. Because in my office, Honorable Chair, there is a file this thick of letters from Sam Gashago and the residents of Woodley. So I was expecting more from you, Sam, but let me address ourselves to the key issues. Because after today, Sam, I don't expect you to write me letters regarding matters that would have been addressed here today.
Okay.
There was a public participation on the 25th of May, 2023. And in fact, on that day, the only public participation that I swung by to see how it is going on was Woodley and Jericho Lumumba. So I want to ask you, as a resident of Woodley, what was the problem with that public participation of 25th May? Did you encounter similar problems to your friends from the East?
Oh yes, on the 20th, the one that you attended at the social hall. Yes, okay, fine. That one, obviously, basically that public participation, yes, there was everything wrong with it because it was not a public participation for Woodley residents. It was a public participation that included the stakeholders, shop owners, the hawkers, and so forth. So it didn't specifically address the issues concerning Woodley issues. The Woodley issues concerning the redevelopment were beclouded by other issues which did not affect the Woodley residents. It did not come out very well and strongly to bring out the main issues that the Woodley estate residents wanted clarified.
Okay, and secondly, clarify to us, because I think from your evidence today, there are people who are still not compensated. I was under the impression, Governor, that that was complete, but you will clarify in your response. Do you have a sample or a copy of a letter of the allotment letters that the Governor has said all of you have received?
I do have a copy, but not, no, I don't have a copy with me right now.
But have you seen it?
I've seen one, yes.
Okay, what does it say generally? What are people getting?
You know, as with an allotment letter, it just specifies exactly that, that one will get a unit.
Do you know the unit, the size, the design, which floor, whatever it is?
No, it's impossible right now because right now, the biggest problem with this redevelopment is that there was no master plan in the beginning. Nobody actually knew exactly what was being built on the ground. And this is what we were clamoring for. And I think you remember very well that we were asking, why can't we get a master plan? Even if it's a master plan for the entire Woodley estate. That has not been forthcoming, and we were promised that last year.
Okay, finally, Chair, on this other issue of rent arrears, I gave you some advice on how to resolve some of these matters. If a county government writes to you threatening to evict you, and they are claiming rent arrears and you have paid and you have evidence of payment, there is a place you go, Sam. Have you guys gone where I advised you to go?
No, we haven't gone that. We haven't gone there.
Why are you putting all your faith with the meeting with the CECs and the CEO?
I think they're human beings. They have a heart and they can listen.
They came to demolish your houses at night. You still trust these people to have that conversation?
No, it's not that they came to demolish. They did demolish the houses at night. And to a certain extent, they had legal recourse to do that because, as you heard what the governor is saying, is that those are their houses. And the court did say, yes, these are your houses. You can do what you want with them. You understand? Those houses don't belong to us. But you see, what you do is you appeal to the goodness in people instead of appealing to the badness. So I'm appealing to the governor to look at this.
You're hoping that you will appeal to governors and in particular Lydia's goodness?
Not really. No, they are the people who are in charge. Lydia is in charge of housing. This is the governor of Nairobi, right? So we are appealing to them. That's what we can only do. Now, according to what Senator Sifuna told us to do, that is plan B. If they turn out to be people who cannot be trusted, then we shall move in that direction.
So that's why your advice was politely rejected, but say Rambua.
You know, Chair, from the account of the representative from Woodley, I think then we would be okay in this committee to conclude. From your account, as young people are saying these days, it is boiling well in Woodley, boiling nicely in Woodley. Because the only issue that you have raised is that you want this chief officer to accord you a meeting. And if that's accorded, Woodley, you are okay.
I didn't say that. I just said that we have received, threats of mass evictions coming directly from her office. And I would have thought it would have been a good idea to sit down and talk to her and ask her exactly what is going on. That is my take on the issue.
Okay, lastly, Chair.
Now, in Woodley, okay, not everything is hanky-dory. Not everything is right. You understand? Like I have said, the systematic, the way they go about their public participation meetings is wanting. Because even right now you heard that there is, I think, lot 2, 3, 4, and 5, something that we don't know, we haven't heard about it. And I think they're putting the cart before the horse there. Because they should first come and discuss issues like those with the residents so that they know exactly what they're going to put in their EOI and their RFEs and so forth.
Chair, I will still insist that we have to make conclusions on certain issues. So in Woodley, not many issues, but there's the issue of compensation there. Some people have not been given their money. Let's deal facts, not theory. Have you, through the chair, have you seen the allotment letter, or have you received one?
No, I haven't received one because it was being given to only 42 residents who live in an area called Woodley Green.
Who don't even know which houses they are going to get, right?
Which they don't know.
Okay, lastly.
Because 50% of them haven't received the allotment letter.
Lastly, Chair, lastly. There is a place there that him and Senator Sifuna seem to know about that a lot of us don't know. Sifuna is referring them to some place. He's saying, he wants to appeal to the humanity of the people at the county government. But I get a feeling, Chair, that place could perhaps be the same place that the other residents in the other estates have a hesitation of going for whatever reason. That place only can tell us
for the record. Can you just help us know the place so that Senator doesn't struggle?
Chair, just to be forthright, as a lawyer, I told them that some of these disputes, for instance, the way we've guided our brothers from Lumumba and the other places, a dispute to do with ownership of land, vests correctly in the National Land Commission and even the Lands Court, Environment and Lands Court. So that advice I have given in good faith, both to Woodley and to the other residents, to be able to sort out those matters. If a county government or even your landlord threatens you with eviction and you know you have paid rent and you have the evidence, you go to court, you'll get an order stopping it. That is the only place. I wish I had the powers you people believe I have. I wish I was as powerful as you think I am, that I can grab the governor's collar and make him stop threatening you at night. And there is nothing wrong with going to court, because that is where the truth emerges. You state your case, and the county government states their case, and then a resolution is found. So please don't bombard the office of the Senator of Nairobi with matters that are not properly they would be properly handled in another forum. And don't be shy. If there is an issue of cost, you know me. I am more than generous. I can be able to help you to seek that justice that you want in the courts.
Chair, I just think get a clarification from him about maybe the generosity should be just to pay the rent. Ask him about the arrears, including his own.
No, I think
as an example, Chair, if somebody has not paid rent of 10,000 for 10 years, I'm not saying him, but he knows what I'm talking about. For many other people, not you personally, you're living in someone in Kibera is paying 1,000 or 2,000 and when they don't pay, their door is removed, their roof is removed. You're living in a proper house. You're talking about services that you want to receive, but someone has not paid rent for 10 years. Is it fair, Chair? That's why I keep saying, when you come to equity, come with clean hands. The services you're saying you need, you want water, you want your place cleaned, you want garbage collected, yet there are arrears of millions per house. What do we do? And maybe you can also advise us, when people get notices for rent over time and don't pay, do we sing for them? Do we do a poem? What do you do? The law is clear on such things. We're not talking about wrong entries of rent, where people know themselves. When you accumulate a rent of 1.4 million, and it's 10,000 per month, how many years are those? And it's not one person, not two people. So I'd love to hear specific cases, but the ones I know, and Sam knows the ones I know, and I will not mention names. It's just people who refuse to pay rent, Chair. Yet they deserve services.
Chair, point of order.
Hello,
Chair.
Sige, wait a minute, just switch off your mic, Sam. I'm going to get back to you.
Chair.
Sige.
Thank you. As I was waiting with bated breath for the governor to give all of his submission at one go, but since he has submitted something now, can he share the things that he's saying that he knows and Sam knows, but us senators, we don't know? So I don't know if it's in order for us to continue while we're in the dark on this side. If he has specific cases of the 1.2 million in arrears, or 2 million, or 500,000, he should also prepare when he is responding to give all that and table it to this committee, rather than us talking in hypotheticals.
I mean, like, I think what Senator Asija said is very important, because we're not hanging out.
No,
just a minute, I'll give you time, Sam. This Senate is not hanging out. This Senate is having a properly constituted meeting where, as we started this meeting, I told you, we want to make closures on some things. And you see, after everybody representing an estate has talked or presented an issue, you see I've tried to concretize what is it that you want, even where you cannot be able to clearly state that. So, Governor, I don't want you and Sam to have some issues that you're setting aside that are very substantive that we don't know about. So please...
of course, there are many issues between a tenant and a landlord.
Yeah, but the ones that have been raised here, because what I'm getting from Sam, because I wanted to go to closures, Sam, what I'm getting from you, number one, unlike Lumumba, Ofafa, and the first president was Maringo, what I'm getting is that Woodley does not have a problem with the project, first of all. Well, that's what I'm getting, and I might be getting it wrongly. He does not have a substantive project with the concession of the project. Number two, Woodley has gone to the extent of accepting the fact that this project will continue, right? But the eviction are not being done properly. Conversations around public participation, ongoing public participation, are not being done properly. But even the most sensitive one that I've gotten is that there is, in Woodley, a process has begun on allocation compensation. I got that. And that allocation compensation, some people have already received it, which I don't know from the governor's office or from the developer. I wanted to get to know that. But then there is 22 people who have also not gotten that allocation of compensation. And I'm just pointing those issues that when governor, when you will be responding, you respond to specifics. How do you deal with those 22? Where is this money coming from? And how do you do dignified evictions where there is need to do that, with particularly the case for Woodley? Unless I haven't captured what Sam has said, Senator Chute, I'll give you 1 minute and then I can go to the last estate.
Thank you very much, Chair. My question is very specific and it goes to the Chair, Woodley Estate. Let me say, first of all, I'm very grateful. I'm very thankful that the issue with Woodley and Nairobi County is moving on well, not like Buxton Estate. Then the question comes to, this is a development which has a plan, a drawing, and my question would be, there is something in that agreement that should indicate there is work progress. I want to know if the chair has a work progress and the units that are identified for the 43 members, if I'm not wrong, and also the completion period of that project, if it is in the contract and if he has a copy of that contract. That includes those 3 items.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, I do not have concrete evidence of any allocation letter. I do not know, because I think what they were doing is that they were dealing directly with each individual tenant, and the 22 who signed are the ones who have these documents, and these documents were not given to the rest of us to peruse and see. So that, in terms of knowing exactly what was discussed between the developer, the county, and the tenant, the information we who are outside that 42 is very scanty.
Chair, just a supplementary, kindly.
Senator Asige, please go ahead.
A supplementary to that, to the Chair for Woodley. I believe, Chair, that Sam is here to represent those 22 amongst others, right, in Woodley Estate. So would it be in order to request him to get that information if he doesn't have it, because he's representing them? I'm sure they know that he is sitting here in this meeting today. It would have been great if that documentation was with him now, but can that be received or sought from the 22 so that we can move with concrete data in front of us, Chair?
Governor, take a serious note on that.
The MOU is in the documents you have, Chairman.
And you will respond.
It is in the documents.
It's part of the response that you'll make. I'm just telling you to take note on those concerns.
Chair, I wanted to give a clarification for the sake of the question that was asked by Senator Asige.
Okay.
For me, from where I sit, the problem between the Woodley residents and the county government is a communication problem. That, Governor, your officers are unavailable or unwilling to sit down with people in the estates and our voters whenever they raise issues. I'm holding here, Chair. There's a letter dated 28th April 2025 that was sent to me by Sam Gashagu, claiming they are unable to meet with Lydia Mathia and Mbogo there. I remember giving Mbogo a call, and he assured me that he would have a conversation with them. This is not supposed to be how it is, because everybody who serves in the county government of Nairobi is a public officer. You should be available to have conversations with the residents of Nairobi, especially surrounding such important matters. Personally, the dispute, as I understand it, Senator Crystal Asige, is that there needs to be a reconciliation on how much money Sam is claiming to have paid and what the county government claims to have received, because of the various forms that have of payments that have been there in the city over the years. Somebody claims, I sent money to these life forms, I sent money to this account. When NMS came, there was even greater confusion as to who was receiving money where. Now, that reconciliation cannot happen in the Senate, for heaven's sake. That conciliation is not going to happen in Sifuna's office, which is why, Governor, your officers, I don't have the records, surely, of who has paid rent and who hasn't paid rent. Those records are in the county government. Let these officers make our lives a bit easier. I would like to go a month without receiving a letter from Woodley, please. Or at least if they write to me a letter, let it be inviting me to a bash or something like that. It can't be just the same things over and over. So for me, that is my understanding of the problem. And this is a challenge we will put to the governor. Instruct your officers to be willing to meet with residents.
And Senator Sifuna, I know Governor is itchy. Governor.
How do you know how my skin is feeling?
Not to respond to this, what Senator has said, but Governor, I think that the issue of communication, I talked about it. I think we saw when Agesa was presenting, we saw when John was presenting, the constant confrontation is lack of engagement. I call it larger engagement, but it's communication problem, and I think that this one can be solved.
I think even civic education, because rent reconciliations are done every single day. They're not done by the chief officer or by a CEC. Today, if you walk in, we have so many tenants. Rent reconciliation is done every day at our customer service center. It's a routine administrative thing. It's not for a meeting with the cabinet or with CECs, you know. But if it's a bulk, I've sent you a document because Senator Sige asked, what do I know that you don't know? I've sent you a schedule of all rent arrears in Woodley. Just peruse, and you'll see from the top. You'll understand what is going on.
That's fine. That's in order, Chair.
But
It's here. But also, I would request the Governor, if he's making a verbal submission, that he should refer to his own documents rather than saying, I know and he knows, so that we all can also know.
Like which one?
Anytime you submit, Governor, my request humbly is that you just point us to the specific volume, the page, so that we can also follow.
Yeah, but not everything I say is in a document. You know, we're having a discussion.
That's fine. That's fine.
No, can I just say one last thing?
Yes, Sam.
Now, I get the feeling that the governor is just getting back at me for having raised this issue. Yes, because I don't know, but anyway, I'll give you
some way. Yes, this is a committee of the Senate.
Yes,
when someone is talking, give them a listening. I will give you time to respond because you have got that right. Please don't exchange. So please go ahead. And I also told you, Sam, you're talking through the chair. Okay, don't address the governor. Okay, but go ahead. I'm listening.
Chair. A case in point, and this is why I brought this up, is that I thought I'd have the list, the governors here, but it turned out anyway. Some time ago in 1992, our whole estate was sold. It was sold to non-tenants. And from 1992, we took up the fight to protect our estate. And the government did not come to our aid. The city council did not come to our aid. It culminated in 2019 with a ruling by Justice of Congo declaring any titles given in respect to Woodley Estate as being null and void. You understand? Now, what has happened is there were about 20 odd people who claimed they had bought the houses. So between that time, they were not paying rent because they said they had titles. These are the people who he is claiming have arrears of 3, not even 1 million. They have 4 million shillings in arrears. And now to come out and tell that person, pay that 4 million now or else I kick you out, you know, I think it's just not right. You understand? So there is a group of people, I think there are about 15 people, who accumulated because they thought they had bought the houses, they thought they owned the houses. And they even took the county to court on several occasions. But they lost out. Now these people have come to us as the leaders of the community to ask if that is why we were seeking some dialogue with the county. Can we sit down and do a structured, repayment method so that we could pay? Because where is somebody today going to get 4 million shillings from? And he has been a tenant for the past 40, 50 years. You understand? That is why I'm telling you I was appealing to the governor and his people to sit down so that we can come up. I don't think anybody has refused to pay rent. Maybe there may be economic hardship or financial hardships which are creating this kind of situation. The next thing is that there were issues that we had in the 1990s, whereby we were asked by the court to deposit money in court, right? Like I personally I've had deposited 700,000 shillings in court, you know, and that money is never reflected in my invoices that the county sends me. I would like that. I'd like that reconciliation done so I know how much I need to pay. Number two, Governor Sonko in 2018 gave the residents of Nairobi what you call a rent waiver. And this rent waiver was gazetted. After its gazettement, the